going live here, but I'm gonna take everybody out right now, right? While we do that, all right?
All right.
Take everybody out.
Well, not everybody, just us.
Yeah, it's on live now.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Let's get it. Let me share this. Hold on.
It's going live. We getting ready. We got a lot of people waiting on us, trying to figure. Waiting on the sports shop, waiting on the drop in. Make sure we ready to go.
We here.
We got Jasmine in the building.
You know, got the link this time.
Jab, you got the link this time, didn't you? You ready this time? You ready to go? Tonight though, we're gonna have a couple special guests on. We got Ninth Wonder gonna be joining us. We got Chucky Brown. We got the Great Rasheed Wallace is gonna be joining us tonight. So tonight's gonna be fun. So it's gonna be good. Ninth Wonder, can you hear us, my friend?
Yes, sir.
See there. We got royalty in the building. We got Chucky Brown. Chucky, you okay over there?
Yeah, I'm all right.
You got to keep checking on him. So this should be even more fun than we could ever even expect. So I can't wait. I can't wait to get in the middle of this one. Reese, you there?
I'm here, man. Just excited. Rushy should be chiming in real shortly. But as K-Man mentioned, we're very, very excited. And I'm assuming we up live on our Mac. We rolling?
Oh yeah, we rolling now.
Yeah, we rolling.
Yeah, we very, very excited to be rocking. Just to have some conversations. The Last Dance, of course, documentary. Of course, we just saw it on Sunday, and we kind of responded to that as often as we can. NBA champion Chucky Brown has been with us the whole time. This is the third time winning. This is episode 3. Chucky, what's good with you? All right, man? You happy?
Hey man, I'm good. Just looking forward to discussing everything, and I'm really excited to hear my man Ninth Wonder's point of view because I know he's a big Jordan guy.
Well, and speaking of Ninth Wonder, we're so excited to have Grammy Award winning,
yes sir,
music producer for the 919 representing, man. Ninth Wonder, what's up, man? How you doing?
How you doing, man? What's going on with you?
Man, we so happy you were able to join us. We're gonna tone you down a little bit because I know you're a bit Jordan fan, so we're gonna try to keep it right there, man.
Hey, look in here. I'm thinking he was an Isaiah guy. What was
Get me started.
Isaiah guy. What was I thinking?
So Chucky, you can start this conversation off and get Rasheed on here.
Okay.
One of the things that I think you and Knife been going back and forth on is Jordan and being the greatest, and
right.
a lot of people, of course, still saying, the current guy, LeBron James, is going to eventually end up being that guy. Right. My guy, of course, is Kobe. I mean, Jordan did Kobe as well, but let's talk about that a little bit. Let's hear from Knife first. Knife, what's your perspective on that, man?
About who's the greatest?
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up watching Mike, of course. I grew up watching everybody. But for me, after a while, if you're going to have a concise conversation about who the GOAT is or whatever it is, whoever that person is, you got to become more of a historian of somebody than a fan.
Right.
A fan is short for fanatic. Like no matter what this person does, they can't look at this person as an objective person or criticize a person or whatever. But
right.
After a while, I had to learn to become a historian, not only of him, but of the game. Like
right.
That was the only way. Because a lot of times you get into a conversation with people and they don't even know facts. They just talking. Like
right.
A lot of barbershop talk is that way. You spend your time correcting more people about the history of the game than they trying to argue their point. And it's hard to argue a point when you don't know the game, you know the game's history. So for me, after a while, I had to start to study Mike, like to study the stats, study the comparisons, study the team, study this. It became a study. So I had a different appreciation for why he was who he was. And for me, and especially what I watched last night on YouTube, because I've been, looking around and seeing, different perspectives or whatever. The thing I watched on YouTube last night, it just solidified it for me. Like it was a conversation between, or a comparison between Mike and LeBron in 5 categories of being the GOAT. And I think those 5 categories was longevity, winning, and like 3 other categories. 4 out of the 5 due to all the numbers and all the stats. Mike was Mike came over, top of LeBron and where he stood. The thing that stood out to me the most, there's always an argument about, well, the Bulls could never beat a team like the Warriors. If the Warriors existed in this particular time, and what in the time when Mike was playing, they never had to face a team like the Warriors.
Right.
That's a big argument. But the scary thing about it is, and what I learned from this last night, and I never thought about it, and it's so simple to think about now, the reason why they never faced a team like the Warriors, because they were the Warriors. Like they were the juggernaut of their time.
That's right.
The Warriors is the juggernaut, or was until they get better and get healthy, is a juggernaut of this time. At that particular time, they were the juggernaut. So it wasn't like they never faced a team like the Warriors. Other teams, like we had to face the Bulls. Like people are saying we had to face the Warriors. The difference is they never had a team to beat them, like in the finals per se. And just that thing, the thing how defense changed, and Chuck can speak more to this. The fact that you can have a defensive man camping out in the lane, now you can have one. You can have that. You can have that then. You can have it back in the day where defensive man like a Mark Eaton could just stand in the lane, as opposed to now you can only stay down there for 3 seconds, or they'll call it defense in 3 seconds. There's no hand checking.
Right.
The statistical categories of how much LeBron makes close 3 feet to the basket and 3 feet away from the basket. It's so many like small contextual stats that you have to put in the play to see who the GOAT is. So that's the thing about LeBron defending all 5 positions. Well, it's only 5% of his career he defended a 1 or a 5. Like little stuff like that we never like really pay attention to, really could break down. That's just LeBron averaged more rebounds than Mike. They say, well, he averaged more rebounds than Mike. Well, compared to small forwards, he was low average of rebounds. Mike compared to shooting guards average of rebounds, he was on the high end. So it's like, once you start looking at it that way and start really breaking it down that way, it becomes tough, man. It becomes real tough. Like it becomes tougher. Like it becomes, Mike had no weaknesses. He had no individual weaknesses. Like LeBron has four. Like 4 weaknesses. He can't shoot free throws. He only hits 20% of his shots in clutch situations. The defensive end, it's all of that. Like you can't look at Mike and say he had the weakness. There's nothing he couldn't do. Nothing. The only thing you can say he couldn't do well is shoot 33% from the 3-point line. But during this time, everybody shot 33%. So you know what I mean? So that's once you start getting into that, start breaking it down that way, it's like, man, it gets tough. It gets tough.
Man, I can imagine. Yeah, Rushy still trying to get in. He's having a little technical difficulty, but he should be on real soon. Chuck, how you respond to what Knife just said?
He sent me the video. So I checked the video out, and the thing that struck me about the video, and I had never thought about this, was as far as the Bulls team goes, which would you rather be? Would you rather be the juggernaut or the team trying to be the juggernaut? Right. So the Bulls were the juggernaut of the era. I played in that era, so the Bulls were the juggernaut, and it's much tougher. And the video was breaking down, like Knife said, how the Warriors, how the Warriors never won 3 in a row, but the Bulls did, and they were the juggernaut, and the Warriors were the juggernaut. Yeah. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the video brought some new perspectives, and I have to agree with Knife that, like there's some people that are fans that no matter what you do, like Trump supporters, no matter what he does, they support him. You know what I'm saying? Right. So there are some fans that no matter what LeBron does, they're going to say that he's great, and you do have to become a historian of the game. But, like I said, my GOAT is Kareem. But I don't argue with anybody who says Jordan. I don't argue with that because, he's up there. You know what I'm saying? Jordan could be 1B in my book. You know what I'm saying? But that video, I got to send you guys that video. But it's like a little 30-minute video, and it kind of breaks it down But I agree with everything he said. I agree with everything Knight said.
You know, I wanted to ask you guys a question. You know, BJ Armstrong was, you know, in his last week's episodes, he was talking about how Jordan elevated his game and how he was so much farther ahead of everybody else on the court, where what he was doing on the court and what everybody else was doing was just, it just pales in comparison. Chuck, you speak to that just a little bit, of just about physically, yes, he was that much better, but mentally about the game, how much better he was than everybody else.
I think I think everybody wants to win and everybody is competitive, but I think Mike may have studied his opponents better or more. Like a lot of times, like guys, I know, like, you know, in my case, I studied my opponent and saw what they did, but I think Mike studied just studied a little bit more than most guys did, you know, even like, you know, especially like in the playoffs and stuff like that. But I think that Mike studied his opponents more. But I do think that everybody's competitive. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, I'm just as competitive as anybody else. I don't want to lose, but it's that will. And, you know, some guys have it, you know, and Mike just had it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that he was just, I think, like I said, I just think he studied a little more than guys, because, you know, you can hear him, like, he talked a little trash out there, and he would tell you like certain things he thought you was gonna do, or what he was gonna do, or what he saw, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. He would do a little talking out there. So I just think he studied more than other guys, you know, and just had that will and determination. Just he knew what losing felt like, and didn't want that feeling anymore. You know what I'm saying? Some guys, you know, they were playing just to play. You know, Mike was playing to win. You know, like Herman Edwards said, you play to win the game. So he was trying to win the game, you know, by any means.
Okay.
So this is where we also got to see Kobe come in. I think it was episode 5 early. And one of the things I think that stands out to me about it is he had addressed the whole, don't do that one-on-one thing because you see me and everything I do because of him. Talking about Jordan, obviously. So, like, I think more so in the modern day, how much do you put the greatness on our players now? Like, you can't really, not that you can't give them their own right and their own respect, but it does take those guys like MJ before, you know, the era of basketball to have them. So, do you look at not being able to compare them like on a one-on-one or who's better because of everything that was accomplished before them?
You asking me?
Anyone.
Oh, well, I think that you know, I just like Knight said, I don't think that a lot of the guys today are historians of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I think that with Kobe was a historian of the game coming up. His dad playing in the NBA. I think that helped him become a historian of the game, and he saw a guy that he wanted to be like. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was coming up, and I saw. You know, I was a historian of the game, and the guy that I liked was James Worthy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I wear number 52 is because of James Worthy. So I was trying to study everything James Worthy did. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think that a lot of guys today aren't historians of the game, and that's you know, that's not okay. You know, it's okay if you want to be your own guy. That's fine. If you don't want to be like nobody else, that's fine. Like there's nobody that you can compare James Harden to. That's fine. But know the history of the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, you know, since we're still waiting on Sheila a little bit, we got a Grammy Award winning producer. I always want to ask this guy, you know, for a lot of people, there may be somebody, I don't know, in Russia who may not have heard you, Knight, but tell people a little bit about some of the people you worked with in the past.
It's crazy because I probably have more fans of Russia than I do.
There you go.
But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, I started out in a group called Little Brother.
Right.
And, you know, two rappers, Fontaine Pooh, and I was producer of the group. And then I went on to produce for Jay-Z was my first, like, artist that was big outside of LB that, you know, kind of put me on a different platform. And then after that was, you know, Destiny's Child and Mary J. Blige and David Banner and Erykah Badu and Ludacris, and then I started my own label, Jamla Records, in 2010. And out of that, I had I have artists, but the artist that everybody knows that's my artist is Rhapsody.
Yeah.
But even with my own label, I still produce for other people. I produce for Jill Scott and Anderson .Paak and Big Boy, and most recently 2 Chainz and Kendrick Lamar. So,
wow.
But in the midst of all of that, though, one of the biggest things I think that impacted my career was the fact that I started to teach on a collegiate level. So I started to teach at North Carolina Central in 2006, and 2010 I started teaching at Duke, and then 2012 I taught at Harvard. I'm still doing research at Harvard, and that led me into being on the rap committee for the Smithsonian, the African American Smithsonian in DC, and the Hip Hop Council for the Kennedy Center of Performing Arts. And I just got inducted to the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame last.
Congratulations, man! Congratulations!
Congrats!
So,
Congrats!
you know, everything I do is under the umbrella of music. Now I'm heavily into basketball. I've always been a fan of basketball. Whether either I played in high school or played pickup in the gym. I played against Chuck a couple times. We used to come back to NC State. Did that, but then I fell in love with it. My daughter fell in love with it on her own. It wasn't forced on. I didn't force it on her. She loves the game, and I started a girls team called the Carolina Dream, and I did that. And now I'm also heavily involved with Nike EYBL. I'm a life skills coach for Nike EYBL, which you're basically looking at the future of the NBA, like and all of that, whether it be music, whether it be basketball, whether it be teaching, it's all about learning the craft and getting better at your craft. So
that's right.
Yeah. So a lot of people that's listening, just listening, you go through that, that resume, it made me think of a question. Now I have a question. Just what are the similarities between, basketball at the level that you're talking about, coaching basketball, and music and rap music, or what have you, and what you guys what you're doing?
Oh man. One of the biggest similarities is repetition. Like it's always you training yourself to shoot a jumper with muscle memory is the same thing as making a beat after beat after beat.
Wow.
Exercise, it's all exercise, it's all repetition, it's all practice makes perfect. It's all 10,000 hours to become a master of your craft. It's that technique, knowing the history of the game. As a young player, you never want to walk in a room as a young point guard and Nate Archibald sitting in the room. You don't know who he is.
That's right.
Same thing with, producers and rappers. If you're a young rapper and you walk in the room and Big Daddy Kane is in there, you never not want to know who Big Daddy Kane is. That's some of the similarities that come with basketball and music, or sports and music. Because if you notice, you got basketball players that want to rap, and you got musicians that used to play ball. I think it's still a competitive thing, like MCs battling against each other, where there's, basketball players or football players. It's all competitive. I get the same thrill of going to watch a Duke basketball game and watching Coach K and his craft, or watching Jeff Capel and his craft at Pitt or anybody else, as when Grant Hill or Jeff Capel comes to the studio and watch me. It's the same type of mastery you're looking for. You know what I mean? So those are kind of like the similarities and such.
Oh man, that's a good thing. You're hearing from a Grammy Award-winning music producer that's very, very popular in Russia. I just found out. So.
Not all of Russia, but Moscow will be the place. Moscow.
There you go. NBA champion Chucky Brown. Again, we still holding Rushy. Rushy, trust me, he's trying 3 or 4 things to try to get on this on the Zoom call.
Wait, so I have a music question.
Go ahead.
What do you think about the soundtrack? I feel like I'm loving the music.
Oh, listen, man. Oh my God. Like, it is very, when you're telling the story as such, it is very important to tell the story, especially if it's a historical piece, to have the right music for the background.
Right.
What people got to understand about MJ is, the Air Jordan came around the same time as hip hop started to make its commercial climb. I mean, we had Rapper's Delight and that Planet Rock and, you know, Africa Bambaataa in the late 70s, early 80s and all of that. But it seems like the Air Jordan and coincidentally enough, Run DMC came along at the same time. Although Run DMC was with Adidas, Run DMC was like the first non-athletic entity to have a shoe deal. So with Adidas. So it seems like when hip hop was on the rise in the 80s, so was shoe culture. So for them to be playing I Ain't No Joke when he's playing against Bird in 86, if you can remember 1986, we were all playing Eric B and Rakim. Like, it's crazy the way they matching it up. And I'm the music nerd, so when they're playing a record, and if they show 1990, 1991, and they play a Tribe record, I'm like, they're right on time. Like,
Right.
So they're right, you know, they are concurrent with the time they're playing the music and the time what's going on. They are very, very, somebody's really paying attention to that. And I think that's dope.
Now, we have some people that want to ask you a couple of questions. They want to ask about Jay-Z, working with Jay-Z. Can you give us a little insight in that?
That happened in 2003. You know, just, you know, the biggest question I got about Jay is, does he write stuff down when he raps? No, he does not. Like, he doesn't, like, he stands in the corner.
Oh, wow.
If the music is playing, he stands in the corner, he mouths the words, he memorizes the rhyme in his head, and he goes to the booth and he spits the rhyme. Like, this is exactly how he does it. I've seen him do it 1,000,000 times. You know, one thing I love about Jay is Jay and Mike are very similar in a lot of ways, because Jay really doesn't care about being and people might not understand when I say it, but he really doesn't care about being a star. I think I posted something today on Instagram about being a star. Mike didn't either. Like, they don't care about being stars. They care about winning. Do they care about beating you down? Yeah, they care about that. Do they care about winning championships? Yeah, they care about that. Does Jay care about being the best rapper, have the best bars? Yeah, he cares about that. Does he care about being a star though? Nah. And the same thing with Mike. Is like, he didn't care about being a star. Like, now you got young kids, even young rappers and young basketball players. They're more concerned about their brand than they are with winning. You know what I mean? They're more concerned about Instagram followers and all of this than they are with winning. But, you know, with Jay and Mike being close to the same age, it's a different kind of code. It's like, yeah, I can be rich, yeah, I can have money, yeah, I can do whatever, but at the end of the day, no matter how much money I have, no matter how I get, you might think I get from a perspective standpoint, I'm still gonna wrap you under the table. That's Jay-Z. And I learned that very quickly with him, that it's really strip all the money away, strip all the cars. I'm really about these bars. I'm really trying to be one of the best that ever lived. And that kind of like gave me a new insight on things or whatever. So Jay's one of a kind, man. Truly one of a kind.
We talking to the great Ninth One and Chucky Brown rocking with us as well. NBA champions. We all up in here. Still waiting on sheet. Hey, K-Mac, what's CL Brown just posted something I thought was interesting. You had posted up on there about.
Yeah, there's a great story in the New York Times on the music from The Last Dance. Director said they wanted to use I Know You Got Soul, but couldn't.
I can't hear y'all.
Knife say he can't hear us.
Okay. All right. All right. We giving CL Brown some love. Read that again, Jasmine, one more time.
He's CL Brown of CL Brown, who says there's a great story in the New York Times on the music from.
I can't hear y'all.
Director said they want to use I Know You Got Soul, but couldn't get the sample cleared.
Knife said he couldn't hear us.
Right. So we'll get him back on.
That's a thing where you want to be on par with like matching your music to the story that you're telling. But, you know, obviously there are things where like technical difficulties.
Jasmine answered the technical question.
Yeah. I like it. I like it though.
Oh man,
but that was pretty special though. Just hearing Knight talk about working with Jay-Z, and I do have a question about him getting. It seems odd that you couldn't get music cleared for the Michael Jordan Last Dance documentary, but I'll be interested to hear how that works. How that's even possible that you couldn't get the music cleared.
Oh wow, yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, man. But this live TV, live radio, we are the rock and roll. We still when the guys chime back in. That's Rushy said he's on Sprint. He may not be on Sprint after the day because he got
to get rid of Sprint. He got to get rid of Sprint.
Hey, I'm doing the
under the bus. Y'all up
I'm doing the Jazz. Jazz throw the sponsors on the bus. I think I just did it right there.
Wait a minute, hold on. You guys go throw Sprint under the bus, and they just announced today that they merged with T-Mobile. Don't do that.
Oh, they be all right. The Sprint's gonna be good. They're coming up. That's what the technical difficulty is. Their merge is causing a problem. That's what it is. What
you may be right. I've been having full disclosure. I'm on Sprint, so I've been having problems today. So.
Oh, you guys!
But we just have a good time. We're gonna try to get these guys to lean back in. But check it why we got you, and thank you for rocking with us.
Of course.
The last episode of The Last Dance was really interesting.
Right.
It really talked about everybody has peaks and valleys throughout their lifetime. Things are great. Then when you're on top, people try to bring you down a little bit.
Right.
They went in hard on the gambling with Michael, and people really came out and really try to disdain him a lot in that regard.
Right.
What was your reaction to that when you saw that?
My reaction was, what you do in your private time, if that's what you like to do, that's what you like to do. You know what I'm saying? You do have, like he went off to Atlantic City to like he said, he explained it well, to get away from the city, because if you are in New York City is all about the Knicks. So you don't want to hear, and the Knicks just beat you in a game. So you don't want to hear about that. And that's all that's going to be on the TV.
Right.
All that's going to be everywhere. So, you go out to New Jersey, Atlantic City to get away, to get away. In New Jersey, they're not as big on the Knicks, I'll say. You know what I'm saying? So, you go to Atlantic City and just to get away, gamble, if that's what you want to do. I mean, it ain't like he ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? So if he lose 50,000, he got it. So who cares? You know what I'm saying? So my take on it was he was doing his own thing to get away from the game. Leave the dude alone. The only thing that I would say that he probably should have said a little more, of course, is the thing with the Jesse Helms thing. You know what I'm saying? If you black and you know who Jesse Helms is, you don't want Jesse Helms nowhere near.
Hold on, nice one all over this one. Hold on.
I got something about that, man.
Okay.
This is the crazy thing that I wonder about black folk. Like, we always trying to tell somebody what to do with their time and their money. Like,
that is true.
I don't necessarily understand that, because we'll go to the Walmart, and when they ask us, do you want to give $1 to the March of Dimes? We be like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Like, we quick to hit no. Like, nah, I don't want to do that. No. But I think Mike said it best, and he said it, and this is the part I've been trying to get people to understand. Like, Mike from North Carolina, man. He was born in Brooklyn, but he's from North Carolina. And let me tell you something about North Carolina folk. If they don't know you, you're not. No. So he said, this mom was like, Mom, I don't know him. Like, I don't know. Because let's think about it. Let's look at the time period. What's that? 1990?
Yeah.
Who got caught in a hotel room with some drugs and whatever in 1988 in Washington, D.C.?
Don't do Marion Barry like that, man. Don't do that.
I'm not. Hear my point. So if you're 27 years old, then you got to think about the time period. It's 1990. He's 27. He ain't 35. He ain't 40. He ain't none of that. He's 27. You're asking a 27-year-old, basically a kid,
right?
Pretty much, with all this money and time. Well, not time, but all this money. You're asking a 27-year-old kid to come out and fully endorse a 50-year-old man.
Yeah.
Who you don't know that probably know that much about politics at all. You still trying to beat the Detroit Pistons. You lifting weights. And you want somebody to say, you want to lead that, go, I stand beside Harvey Gantt. And it's like, Mama, I don't know him, but I send him a bag, though. I send him a bag. I send him a bag. If this will help him out, I send him a bag. But I don't know him well enough to be vouching for him. Like this, because let's see this. What if this was present day and Mike vouched to do in Florida that got in trouble? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. What's the name? Yeah, I know you're talking about.
So then,
yeah, but I ain't saying he should have. I ain't saying he should have endorsed him.
I'm just saying that we got to be like, do that. And Chucky, you know this. You've been in the league,
right?
How many times dudes come to you and say, "Chuck, I got a business, man. Help me out." Chuck, I got a record label. Chuck, and you like, yo,
you're right.
You have to pick and choose your battles.
You're right.
No matter whatever. So
right,
it's tough. Because let's say Mike endorsed dude in Florida. Let's say he endorsed homie in Florida.
Right.
Homie got in trouble. Then what that say about Mike? Oh, Mike, you must have knew he was doing this and that. So it's like it's crazy, man. Like you be
right.
You want to help, and that's what it is. And I think people was more angry about Jesse Helms.
That's what it is. That's what I did. Yeah.
Than the fact that Mike didn't help dude. Like, because truly, man, you know this, Chuck. You know this. Playing the league, Mike, Rodman, I don't care who it is. In that time period, y'all helped so many people that people might not know about.
That is true. Yep, that is true.
Because social media did not exist.
That is true. That is true. That is true.
But and you know how it is when you help somebody, you can't tell everybody because as soon as you help this one person and tell everybody,
right,
here come everybody else.
Yeah, because you just kind of help people. And then you keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? You don't want the all of the accolades. But I do agree with you on that. I think people were more upset about the Jesse Helms thing because Jesse Helms was not good for business for black folks. You know what I'm saying? He was not good for business.
No, he wasn't. Not at all.
I'm glad you can hear me now, Knife, though. But Knife, you can tell them the story.
I just don't think we need to put that on the shoulders of a kid because he's good in basketball.
So I think you bring up a really good point. So now bringing it to today's game, I think with these young athletes that make millions of dollars and have the platform that they have, I feel like a lot of time we put that weight on them for the burden of representation for their people. So do you think, I mean, obviously this had to have kind of been the starter for that, but does this change the way you start to expect things from current day athletes that make all of this money and are still just as young?
You talking about me? I mean, yeah, it's the same thing.
I'm talking to anybody.
I don't, I just don't put that much responsibility, not only for them, but for anyone. Like, especially if a kid come out and says, well, I don't know that much about politics to get involved in that. Like, I don't know that much about this to get involved, and I'm not going to get involved. I think it's all a group thing. Because I have a lot of money don't mean that I should do more than you. Like, we put it too much on our entertainers and sports and athletes and such.
That is true.
Dirty work we don't want to do as, you know what I mean? Like as being just regular citizens. Like, we want them to do the heavy lifting because come on, man, like, regardless of what you may think, their life is easy. Their life is not. Like,
it's not.
It's not. They have to take care of oogobs of people on their own.
Right.
And then you want them to carry the weight of the race. Like, I don't know. Like, that's a serious conversation. I don't put that on, especially young kids.
Right.
Because we got a league full of very athletic, very freakish athlete kind of young men.
Yeah.
Still kids inside, man.
That is true. Yep.
Can't ask those kids to carry this weight and this burden of the world because they make $1 million. They make $1 million to play basketball.
Right.
And asking them to take on these social issues when they're mentally not ready for it is unfair.
Right.
So.
Oh man, a lot of people chiming in, man. It's incredible.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. He's speaking the truth, right? He's speaking the truth. And rock with Knife Wonder, Chucky Brown, and Sports Shop crew. We still having great conversations around everything. It's around the documentary, but there's so many other things that's associated with that. We've got music coming to play as well. I think these are great conversations. And Knife, things you said, a lot of people that I think majority of people agree with you. That's probably a small segment of the population probably don't agree with that. And I'm really, and you'll be surprised how a lot of people, they want to look at people, these young guys as role models and expect them to be, 50-year-old people when they're 21 and 22 years old. You know what I'm saying? I think it's really unfortunate when they put it that way. Chucky, how you feel about that? What Knife said?
Oh, I definitely agree with it. I think that, but in today's time, though, because of social media, there's a lot more on these dudes. You know what I'm saying? That because everybody's got Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and all that. So I think because of today's, there my man She, because of today's technology, there's a lot more pressure on these guys. You know what I'm saying? You can't ask everyone, to be Muhammad Ali. Like I was reading a thing where Craig Hodges said that the reason why Mike didn't say anything was because he didn't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a great article. And there are some people, some guys that are in tune with, what's going on in the hood, as they say. There's some guys that are in tune with that, but it's really hard to, be in tune with that and be working on your craft. You know what I'm saying? You got to be, one or the other. You could know what's going on, but you got to really be focusing on you and your craft and getting better at what you do.
No, I got a great question. She, what's up, man? How you doing? Doing all right?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, yes, you can.
Hey, look, I'm sorry. I definitely apologize to y'all and everybody out there listening and watching. There's a little bit of technical difficulties on my end, but I'm in the building.
We glad to have
the
you,
party
brother.
has just started, She. The party just started now.
Hey, I want to ask all three of you guys to entertain. So again, we're rocking with NBA champion Chucky Brown, Grammy Award winning, of course, Knife Wonder, and NBA champion UFC great Rasheed Wallace. When you guys were in your thing and something happened in terms of society, particularly the basketball guys, did people put pressure on you guys? How was the conversation in the locker room when something happened out that may have affected, young black men or black people in general that went left? Did people expect y'all to step up to the plate? How was the conversation in the locker room when that happened?
I could take this one first. Well, I can remember when they had the riots in LA after the Rodney King verdict, right? Yeah. I remember when that happened, and when the Reginald Denny thing happened. Well, the young lady Natasha Harlins had got shot in the head. We didn't even. I didn't even know about it. Right. I was right there playing with the Lakers. We were in the playoffs playing Portland, and I didn't even know about that. But you're kind of like back then. You were kind of like we didn't have the social media platform, so we didn't really get all the news like that. So we didn't really know about a lot of stuff going on, back in the day, unless it was happening, right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? If I'm walking out the forum and I see something go down, we didn't really know a whole lot that was going on outside of basketball then, because we didn't have the social media. Now, everything is covered in like live time now, like on Twitter. Something going down, a protest is going. It's on Twitter right now, and Facebook and social media. We didn't have that back then, so we weren't really pressured to do anything, other than and we weren't really, we were just basically doing for our families and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That was it.
She, what about you, bro?
Well, I know for most part in our locker room when I was with Detroit, we were pretty social conscious with the Detroit area. As Chucky just mentioned, we didn't come up in the big social media platform that a lot of the younger guys have today with, as he mentioned, the Twitters and the Instagram lives and all those other type of video access.
Yeah.
So we were just basically word of mouth, phone calls, and seeing the bottom line on the news or something like that. But we were definitely involved in a community with, east side and the west side of Detroit to try to keep it together as one piece. And that's why we were involved ourselves, like with different appearances at different schools and different libraries all over Detroit, just to keep it to one social status. So, I mean, that was kind of sort of our I guess social sort of uprising during the time that I was with Detroit. Nothing major happened, kind of sort of like the Sterling thing out there with the Clippers, or with the Rodney King thing, as Chucky just mentioned, when I was actually out there in Detroit.
Right. Wow. And Knife, I know as an entertainer, you guys are all in the mix, social conscious. How does those things play when things happen? When you was entertaining on the road, things of that nature.
Generation, like Sheed and Chucky Brown said, man, generation is a serious thing, a difference of generation, because you got to kind of watch, and we are blessed to have lived in both, to have social media and to not have it. You got to kind of watch how people get behind things for clout. Like,
speaking the truth now, be careful.
They call it ambulance chasing, right? It's like some people are really, really passionate about some of the things that they believe about social justice or whatever.
Right.
Some people get behind certain agendas because they know their Instagram numbers gonna go up. That's just what it is. And it's all about an agenda. Like, it's all about an agenda, because now, truth be told, being socially conscious and having social justice, and being on top of social justice, or being a person who they always go to, like on CNN or whatever,
right?
That's a means to a bag, like anything else. You become that becomes an agenda, like that becomes a marketing tool, like, or whatever. So for me, I'm always hesitant about when something comes out,
right.
And something comes, I'm always hesitant about posting it on my page. I think a prime example is the Jussie Smollett case. It's like, okay, the dude go out, and when it first came out, everybody posted, oh, here go the police. Here it is, racism, MAGA, and all this and that. I said, man, there's something don't sound right about this. Like, I'm at home, and I'm like, Chicago MAGA hat, man, that just don't make sense. And so, then it came out he was lying, and it's like, bro, like, you got to start taking stuff back. So I'm very careful about knowing all of the facts before I start ambulance chasing. I'm very careful about that.
What are you saying? You don't believe somebody go out to get Subway at 2:30 in the morning in Chicago?
Hey, 2 degrees outside.
Everything about hungry was wrong. Everything about it was like Chicago. Not a bit. She done played in Chicago. Brown done played in Chicago. It's like you don't go to Chicago. And then the time of year it's like -2 degrees outside. 2 in the morning, and you gonna say 2 dudes ran up. Hey, yo, whatever, like homosexual slur they call this dude.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, who that wear MAGA hats watch Empire? Like, I'm like, you weren't even a superstar on the show. Like,
oh man,
like you the third, fourth actor down.
Right.
It just didn't make sense to me.
That's great stuff, man. Go ahead, Mac. Let's get Rasheed in this conversation, man.
I'm telling you, she, we glad to have you back, having you on with us, man. We got a couple things we've been talking about, but one of the things we just mentioned was, you know, about the gambling. And one of the things that stood out about the MJ documentary was how hard the media tried to come down on him for taking a break and going to Atlantic City and coming back and saying he's got a gambling problem and all these things. How hard is that? Especially, I know you've been a controversial figure at times in the NBA. How hard is that to say, look, just give me a minute, let me take a break and I'll come back?
Well, for somebody that was in his stature, in his height of who he is, his fame, you know, that's a lot of pressure. I'm guessing, you know, my fame is okay. I'm famous, you know. I've had to come to the terms with that, but he's famous. You know? So that comes with a lot of pressures. He's not a normal dude. He can't go to the grocery store,
right?
You know, so psychologically, after a while, that's going to affect you. And so I guess, you know, one of his things to make him calm, to make his psyche better is, you know, he like to go ahead and hit them tables and blow that money away. So, I mean, but if you look at what he did, go ahead and give him that break. You know, he's under, he was under a lot of pressure.
Yeah. So what's your overall response from the Last Dance? Now we about 6 episodes in now. What's your overall response to that in terms of the documentary in general?
I think it was well put together. The basketball side of it didn't surprise me too much, because from playing in the league and hearing it amongst guys, you know, chitter chatter going here and there, we're hearing a whole lot of things. But what I was surprised at, and what I was more interested into knowing, is the side of management. And I didn't know they felt that way about Jerry Krause. I didn't know that Krause and Pip probably had some personal issue there. That's why Pip didn't get paid. Then I guess they felt some type of way when Krause brought Kukoc in there, and they made him feel, I guess, like an outsider. So I mean, it's that those are the things that I didn't know about that Bulls team.
Right.
Basketball wise, we knew Mike was Mike. We knew what Pip could do. We knew what Rodman could do, and everybody else basketball wise. But the front office stuff is what I didn't know. So that was interesting to find out after all these years.
Wow.
The thing that to me was that he had such a relationship with Ahmad Rashad, where he wanted to have that one-on-one. Like, I know, you know, the media relations like back then, but certainly I didn't think it was going to be like, you know, you got this guy where you're like, yeah, I'll do an interview with him. So for Rasheed and Chucky, who, I guess for you guys, was a media member that you know, respected and liked around that time. We're starting to see them, you know, they got, you know, picks for the interview, the documentary to talk about it. So what media members you guys enjoyed as you guys were playing in the NBA?
Well, for me, you know, I was a role player. So, you know, the last guy that was just getting his start was the guy for me. so, you know, I was just a role player. I wasn't one of the star guys who, you know, anybody really wanted to interview. The biggest interview I got was when we was in Houston playing Phoenix in the playoffs, and I just had a nice playoff game, and Charles Barkley said, "Who the hell is Chucky Brown?" So I come to shoot around, and all of the press is running to me, telling me what he said about me. So I didn't really have a special media guy, you know what I'm saying? But like the guy that was, you know, that couldn't get a story, he couldn't get through to get to Dream. So he would come to me because nobody was at my locker. So that was my guy.
Rasheed, your experience is quite different because you won the stars, definitely, if not the star on the team. Talk about that.
Well, for me, y'all know I wasn't a media darling, and so I said how I felt. You know, they didn't particularly care about it. So, you know me, after a while, I just became null and void with it, and just like, look, y'all gonna say what y'all gonna say anyway, and that's what makes me love this platform right here even better. Because now, if we would have had this, imagine if we would have had this when we were playing, bro. I mean, wow, come on, everything would be different. Everything. So if I would have had this platform, then I would have been able to speak out more probably, but I wasn't a media darling, so they would get mumbles from me.
Right.
Hey, you know, hey, Rasheed, one of the questions I have now, you know, the big talk this week is always about this Isaiah dust up between MJ, the Dream Team, and everybody. You know, your take on what really happened? Because recently we talk about it on the show, and the first thing I say is, look, we know the real deal. If you got a real beef with somebody, you know, and you don't rock with each other like that, it is what it is. But a lot of people are trying to pretend like, you know, well, I can't believe Michael didn't like, you know, Isaiah. And it's just like, come on, man, let's be real. I mean, for 2 years they tried to kill the man, you know, because you know they were reigning champions. They were trying to hurt him. They were on tape saying we tried to hurt the guy. You know, that was a part of our game plan. It's kind of hard for to say, well, I can't believe Michael wasn't cool with it. What's your take on that?
Well, me personally, I can give two hoots about Olympic teams. That's just how
this dude.
I mean, for that to happen, that was huge, bro. That was
huge.
You got to look at Zeke's stats. He was. You can't say he wasn't qualified to be there. So
True that.
Wasn't. Why wasn't he on that team? And you know, everybody has their opinions over the years. So I guess we'll never really, for real, know who was responsible for holding Zeke back, because some people say it was Magic, some people say it was Mike. I mean, we never know. They know, we won't know. And I don't even think Zeke knows, but he just knows that, look, I wasn't on that team. And you're talking about a guy, he's coming off of not far removed from 2 NBA championships.
Right.
MVPs, All-Stars, all of that. I mean, come on, look, the credentials is through the roof. Through the roof. So he should have been on there, in my opinion.
Hey, Rushy, some people say you're biased because you played for Detroit. There's a lot of people saying. So you're a little biased because you played for Detroit, the bad boy.
I could be. One thing that's not a lie is stats.
That's right. Stats don't lie.
I got a theory, man. I've been thinking about it a minute.
Okay.
You know, of course, I did not play in the NBA, of course, but I've been thinking about it for a while now. Well, first of all, I think we pointing the finger at the wrong people.
Right.
Coach is Chuck Daly, bro. Let's talk about this for
me. Yeah. Yeah, really.
That's like, and I know she said he doesn't care about Olympic teams, but that's like the late great Mount Rushmore of a coach, Dean Smith, coaching the Olympic team.
Right.
And a lot of people get picked in like 95, 96. Yeah. And a lot of people get picked. And maybe Rushy got some people on the team that don't like him.
Right.
And he don't get picked, and the players get blamed. Everybody gonna be like, "But Dean was your coach." Like, it's like, I think, and what's crazy about it is Chuck is not alive, unfortunately, to tell his story.
Right.
It's like, you don't want to blame somebody that's not here, although they're putting a lot of stuff on right about now. Like, you don't want to do that. But let's look at it for a second. Like, and y'all know this to be, and maybe you can help me and Chuck. Let me ask y'all this question. In the dream team makeup,
right?
Big to do, especially when we talking about the makeup of the NBA. First of all, this is the first time NBA players were going overseas to play the game of basketball in a global situation to globalize the game, right?
Right.
Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons has been whooping on players for the past 2 years.
Right.
Number one, you might not, as Jerry Colangelo, you might not want that image out there. That's number one. Number two.
I never thought about that. Yeah.
Okay. Number two, if you're Magic and Bird, you're not. This is the path. This is the changing of the guard. This is the changing of the NBA.
Right.
They looking at it as if Monte Carlo and Barcelona is going to be the place where we have the changing of a guard from one generation of player to the next. It is easy and smarter for us as the NBA to pass the torch from Magic to Bird to Michael. Okay, that's another point. The last point is y'all know good and well that Isaiah Thomas, if he got on that team, he was not going to buy into the idea of we passing the torch to Mike. He gonna be like, I just won 2 chips. And on top of that, Isaiah was the leader of the Detroit Pistons. He was the fierce leader of the Detroit Pistons. Barkley, Ewing, Malone, Mullen, Stockton.
Yeah.
Yep.
They'll follow Magic to the end of the earth. They'll follow Bird to the end of the earth. They even might follow Mike to the end of the earth.
But not Isaiah.
They're not following Isaiah. So all of that combined, it's like just don't fit. He just don't fit this whole thing because he's gonna come in here and want to run the show.
Right.
Not gonna take it out of Magic hands.
That's right.
Definitely taking out of Bird hands. And the new kid who just won 2, and they got his billboard up in Barcelona, the big Nike joint.
Yeah.
He can't handle that.
Yeah.
She know.
So what do you think about that, Rushy? What do you think about that? About what Knife just said.
I mean, about what? Like what part? What exact part?
Okay. All right.
Good one, she. That's a good one, she. That's a good one.
But at the end of the day, I think I'm speaking for myself. I think most people that I know feel like that Michael had a role in him not being on that team, and we'll just leave it right there, man. Yeah. I mean, even though they're and even Matt admitted yesterday, I watched on the first take. He said, "Hey, me and Isaiah weren't cool then anyway, so that had a lot to do with it." So, you know what I'm saying?
I ain't rolling with that.
What's that? She?
I ain't rolling with that. Come on, you kiss this man,
right?
I ain't rolling with that. That's you do something like that to somebody, yo, that's your brother.
On national TV.
So man.
She said, look, it ain't no question. There's no more questions after that. You can start kissing people. It's no more questions.
Man.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, we're rocking with Grammy Award winning producer, music producer, night one, of course, NBA champion, Chucky Brown, and we got Rasheed Wallace, I was talking to Gene Banks, he was talking about, man, you know what? When you look at the greatest players out of Philadelphia, you got to start with Wilt Chamberlain, but right behind Wilt Chamberlain is Rasheed Wallace, and then they may throw me in there every now and then. That's a hell of a statement, and I agree with that.
Right?
How you feel about that? Sound like a Gene Banks, people like that. A lot of people say that, and Coach Ford says it all the time. Talk about you in that regard, man.
Oh man, that's love, especially coming from not only NBA Hoff, but Philly Hoff. Like Gene and other old heads to recognize that. To me, yeah, I definitely hands down, in my opinion, Will is the best ball player to come out of Philly, and we've had a lot, but you know, I don't see myself as second, because you have too many great players who played in the 60s and 70s who were NBA Hall of Famers that came before me. So I mean, it's a wonderful thing to be mentioned with the great Stilt, but you know, I can't touch him, man. He was a hell of a player. All you gotta do is look at the stats, and you know, watching a little bit of film with him as I was growing up, man, he was untouchable. He was like a basketball god.
Right.
Wow, man. Wow. I tell you, that's very special. Go ahead, Mac.
Yeah, you know, just listen to talk about, you know, your accomplishments there, but made me think about where all of you guys are right now and your ability to be able to give back to the game of basketball. Chucky, I know you're coaching high school basketball. You're coaching, and then ninth one, you just even told us some stuff you're doing with your AAU teams. You know, I want to ask each one of you guys, you know, A, did you see yourself being here? And then B, what is it like, and what's the responsibility you feel about giving back to the youth about the game of basketball, the game that you guys love so much? We'll go with you first, Chucky.
Did I see myself doing it? No, but there's an old saying that Muhammad Ali said, if you're the same guy, 30 years from, before you wasted 30 years of your life or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I've changed as a person, individual, as a man. I did not see myself doing it. If you'd have told me this, 10 years ago, I'd be like, you crazy. Nah, no way. But, now that I'm in it, I mean, I love doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were able to set up a game with Rasheed's school and my school. And it helped. It really helped, the schools make some money. And, probably the only bad part is, I guess we couldn't set the game up this year because Rasheed's girls team, their school girls team beat our girls team by like 70. So our girls team don't want to play them no more. But that probably was the worst thing about it, but it was just, I did not see myself doing it, but I love doing it. Like I said, before, like it's not about me anymore. You know what I'm saying? I had my time to think about me. Now I'm more concerned with how I leave this place. And what people think about me when I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? So I want people to think about me in high regard. So I did not see it. And like I said, I love doing it. I love being a part of the community. It's great to see these kids and like work with them, like the look on their faces when something's, you tell them to do, boys are a little different than coaching girls. Boys will question you sometimes. They don't care who you are, what you did. Yep. Boys go question you a little bit. So, but when something works, and then when you get them and you got them, right, I mean that's such a good feeling. But it's just a great feeling to be a part of West Johnson. And I never saw it happen, K-Mac, never at all.
Right. What about you, Sheed?
Yeah, for me, I was working with kids, but that was more on a basketball camp level or personal workout level. I really didn't see myself coaching, especially after some years ago. I put my name in the hat to get the Southern Durham job, and I didn't get it. Dave Noel got it, and so I was like, all right, I wasn't tripping. I was still doing my help around in the community and even helping Dave out. Right. So, but my phone rung one day and they was like, yo, they needed a new coach at Jordan. I'm like, all right. Let's rock with it. So it's been a blast, man. And I think the biggest thing I like about it, and I have to agree with what Chucky said, I've had my time at All-Star games. I had my time in the finals and, doing all these other things in the NBA and traveling with basketball, for basketball, this and that. My time is over. Yeah, it's not about me no more. It's about them. And my biggest goal with myself and my coaching staff, our biggest goal is to get y'all in school. Get these kids in school, help them become young men. Help them face this harsh world out there. And I give it to them straight. I don't sugarcoat what's out there to my guys. I don't tell them, it's all going to be all right. No, there's going to be people out there that's going to kick your ass on and off of the court.
That's right.
So you got to be ready.
So
the fact that I could change their lives.
Yeah, man, you're doing a good job too. So nice. Same question to you. I know you like K-Man said, you are with your daughter and just involved in basketball. And as an entertainer, just talk about, did you see yourself doing this?
No, not at all. I went to North Carolina Central University as undergrad, and NC State, and I went there to teach, and I ended up teaching anyway because I believe a law of attraction is real. Whatever you like, whatever you're into, it's going to end up happening to you some way, shape, or form. You still continue to think about it. I think the unique position that myself, Chucky Brown sits in, historically as Black people, we've had a problem of passing the torch to the next generation. The generation before us, had a problem passing it to us because the language barrier was different. We're a generation of hip hop, so we spoke a totally different language than, I tell my kids all the time, I have more in common with you than I had with my dad, because my dad my dad wasn't raised in a hip hop culture. I was.
Right.
So Rushy was, Chucky Brown. So if we say rapper to one of our players, no matter if we like different rappers, we know what a rapper is.
Right. That's right.
we are, whether we 45, 46, 48, all the way down to 15. You know what I mean? Like a beat, a microphone, and a rapper still works 30 years later, since Rakim or since Melly Mel or whatever. So I think we have a better chance of reaching the youth now and passing the torch to them and letting them know basically that they're important, knowing what their worth is, knowing that, you know, they have way more chance to go way further than we ever could because of the opportunities that's in front of them, and just to don't blow it. You know what I mean? We can talk that language, like she said. We talk that language to them, like we talk that straight up language, and the language that they get. And so I think the culture helps us do all that wholeheartedly, for real.
Oh man, great responses, man. That's why we're happy to have you guys on here. It's amazing when we think about the amount of knowledge that's comprised amongst the three of you guys is just incredible. I'm gonna ask you a question that I think we asked Chucky and we asked Knife. In your opinion, who's the best basketball player you played against, and who do you think the greatest basketball player as we sit right now is right now in the game, NBA game?
Wow. I played against so many great ball players. Played against, Kobe, rest in peace. Played against Mike. Played against Shaq. I played against Dream.
Wow.
Played against Pat Ewing. I played against a lot of guys. Played with and against Pitt. Played against Dennis Rodman. So, I guess for me, that was a pleasure. Because first I was watching those guys on TV.
Right.
And then here I am a couple years later after I left Carolina. Now I'm playing against those guys. I'm teammates with some of those guys. So I saw it as an honor just thinking that they were great players anyway. But I would say for me, I can't really name one particular player, man.
Okay.
It was it's been a lot of guys, as I said, great guys I played with and against.
Okay. Wow.
And as far as today go, wow, I think it's a crapshoot, man. It would be between LeBron, once he gets healthy, KD, and I would have to say the Claw.
The Claw.
And you like that lockdown. You like that lockdown, don't you?
With Kawhi just does it quietly.
Yeah,
right.
But I would say between and I'm sorry, no disrespect, and I got to throw the Greek Freak in there.
Yeah,
he's coming into his own.
Yeah,
he's coming into his own. So I would say between one of them four, man, you could call them the best in the world right now.
Wow. Right. Wow, man. Man, let's open up, man. You guys actually ask each other questions. I know you guys know each other, so let's ask some questions. Chucky, Knife, she.
What y'all doing during this quarantine, dog? What y'all doing?
Well, for me, man, I've just been I take my daughter to it's a high school up the street, Green Hope High School, right up the street from where I live. So we go out on the outdoor courts and get our workout in. Nobody's out there, so we're practicing social distancing. So we've been practicing social distancing, just going to the grocery store with my mask on
all day.
And just shopping. And I just been around the house, man, just doing stuff like today. I changed some lights in the garage, so I turned into a handyman of some sort. So, I just been doing stuff around here. I've been listening to music. I've started listening to some more of the new. My daughter has me listen to some of the newer rappers, like what's the guy she got? Little TJ. Listen to a little bit of that Pop Smoke. So I'm just listening to music and doing work around the house and just spending time with my kids. That's it. Going to the grocery store and getting our workout in. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about you,
For the most part, same here. We've been playing games with my kids. I have my son and my daughter here. So,
okay.
We've been playing Uno and Jenga, and we've been going for our walks and just trying to keep ourselves occupied. Once the weather gets a little bit better, as it's been over the last few days, that's been on and off,
Yes.
Hop in the pool, get them pool workouts on. So just maintain it, man. Just on lockdown here, maintaining it, and as Chuck and Knife say, practicing social distance.
There you go. What about you, Knife?
Same thing, man. I got it. Like I said, I got a 15-year-old that plays, so she shoots around. She's probably shoot about, if it's nice outside, she'll shoot about 500 shots a day, and then I'll go DJ at night. At the studio, I'll go.
Yeah.
And
I've been on there watching you.
Yeah, I'm about to get off in a minute because I got to go. I go on tonight at 10 o'clock. So
okay, so how can we Instagram or how?
Yeah, that gram been killing it.
You gonna be on Instagram tonight?
On the gram, man.
Okay.
Well, we gonna check you out. We gonna be on.
I'm still available. The wonderful thing about music is most of the music is done online anyway, so I can make a beat and send it off, or make a beat and send it off.
Oh wow!
They can record a session and send it back, and I can work on it and send it back. So I mean, to be honest, the only thing I'm really missing, and I know Rushy knows what I'm talking about, even Chuck, like, is travel basketball. Like
right, yeah.
Like this is serious Nike EYBL time, and this is one of my favorite times of year because I'm lucky because I get to be around guys that I watched on TV in college and in the pros and have conversations with them about life and basketball, and they tell their war stories, and you just don't get that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm really missing that, and seeing new talent and all type of stuff like that. So, but other than that, it's basically the same thing for me. Just home studio.
Right.
So nice. So with those Instagram versus battles, have you watched any of those?
Yeah, I watched them all. I watched them. Some of them been good. Some of them been train wrecks. And see, on my page, my sound is real good. So everybody be like, man, why don't you help? I mean, my brother Swiss Beats and Timberland, like, we all in a producer fraternity, so to speak. So, that is their baby, their brainchild to get things together, to get people to battle. And
they'd be in the comments having me weak.
Yeah, we're trying to get, I've talked to him, Swizz has talked to him. We trying to get Jimmy Jam to do it. And we trying our best to get Jimmy Jam to do it, man. And yeah, we got Babyface, well, they got Babyface to do it. But I've been like texting Jimmy Jam, like, come on, big homie, like, just come on. Just do it. And we just ain't with it. So, but they've been good. The one this Saturday is Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. So that's
that'd be a good one. That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. Hey, some people are asking about Anthony Hamilton. And you guys, what you guys got? You got something going on with Anthony Hamilton?
Yeah, man. Me and Anthony Hamilton got a couple of joints, man. We probably got like 4 or 5 joints together. There's one coming out soon that we have coming on the radio soon, or whenever it's going to be released streaming or whatever it is. So look out for that. So we finally got together 2 North Carolina boys and stuff. So that's it.
Man, they coming at you tonight. They talking about you how many games you lose in Chinley Hall. What's up?
A lot, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't understand, man. Like, I'm 6'3 and a half, 6'4, so I get a whole lot of. I used to hoop questions. Used to hoop. I get that all the time. Like, used to hoop. And I say, yeah, I used to play. I played in the gym. Like, I wasn't D1 material, but I could play. You know what I mean? So I try to do that, and if somebody around like Chuck, who I used to play against in the gym, I can say, "Hey, that right, Chuck? Chuck, I used to play.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I ain't lose a lot of games, bro. It's probably somebody I went to school with that I played against. Talking about how many games. Like,
oh my goodness! Hey, I got a quick question for Chucky and Sheed. We're gonna get our producer from the show in here in a minute, but Chucky, Sheed, a quick question. Can you guys remember the first time, especially being in the league, where it's somebody that got under your skin where you just really wanted to just bust their ass? You just like, you just tell yourself, you're like, I want to bust it too. And everybody's looking at you like, why are you going at my man so hard? You just say to yourself, I just want to bust his ass. Is it one person that you can remember that just made you want to do that? I'll go with Sheed first.
Yeah, it was for me. and I got him back.
Uh-oh.
It was Ilgauskas when he was playing with Cleveland.
Okay.
I said, like LeBron's like second or third year. And so he was coming down court, and the big man run the middle of the paint. So he did his job, ran the middle of the paint, sat in front of the basket. But when he turned to post up, he shot me a quick elbow. I was like, ooh. And it was unnecessary to me because you already had position. All they had to do was throw you the ball. So by the time they threw him the ball, after he shot me the elbow, and he turned up, that's when I just across his head, and that's when he started bleeding. And, that's when they gave me a check as usual and everything. So man, bust the guy in the head. Yeah, like I could deal with. If you gonna bust my ass, then you gonna bust my ass.
Right.
Don't give me no cheap shots.
Right.
I got you. What about you, Chucky?
Oh, that's funny.
It was nobody that never like. I mean, I got hit. Like I told you that one time with Bill Lane Beer, I got hit in the face that one time. Wow. And I wanted to, dunk on him after that. If I ever got a chance to, I knew what to expect the next time. But there was nobody that I can recall that hit me like that and had me like, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get this bastard. You know what I'm saying? No, there's nobody that had me like that. Because like when I first came in the league, I was a small forward, so I played more on the perimeter. But no, I mean, there have been guys that have hit me that I'll say that I've got back, but. Like one time when Charles Barkley, he came down post up, he elbowed me in the chest, and he had just had back problems. So I elbowed him right in the back. So then he kind of turned and looked at me, and I was like, "Hey man, look, that's how you want to play it." You know what I'm saying? But I didn't really get into a whole lot of confrontations or nothing like that. I didn't get into a whole lot of that.
Hey, Ninth, you guys have kind of beefs like that in the music industry? Or y'all, everybody cool.
Man, you know what, man? Like, and we were talking about this recently. Like, producers don't really beef like that, man. Like, it be the rappers.
Yeah,
producers don't beef, man. Like, we kind of stay out of that because we love the music so much.
Yeah,
and outside of Pharrell and Timbaland and cats like that, most of us are heard, not sing, so we don't really care.
Right.
Like, man, I'm gonna make the beat, put a rap on it, shout my name, send me the check, they end. Like,
he said, send me the check.
Check the end.
As long as I'm publishing this right, as long as you said our name on the track, that man, just we out the way out there. So we don't really get into all that, dog.
Oh man,
that's good stuff, man. Okay, man, we're gonna get Michael Sheldon in here right quick. Mike Sheldon, you got a question for Sheed? Big time. By the way, Sheldon, this is our producer. Big time. He's from Detroit. Big time Detroit fan. So go ahead, Michael. Ask a question. Well, maybe Mike can't ask a question.
How you doing, everyone?
What's up, Mike?
Go on, Mike.
Good, Mike.
Yeah, I missed you guys, but I'm just glad I could be on and mostly pay my respects to Rasheed Wallace as a lifelong Pistons fan. Thank you for all your contributions, especially for the World Championship in 2004. Now, ABC re-aired that glorious Game 5 in which you guys finished off that 5-game sweep of the Lakers. Sheed, I just wanted to ask you, what was the mood like the morning of and heading into the game that day as you and the rest of the Pistons were on the verge of completing, not only winning a world championship, but also one of the biggest upsets in NBA history?
Yeah, thanks.
Man, it was thick. It was to me, to be honest, waking up that morning, it was a tense moment.
Yeah,
it was a lot at stake. We knew that we could end it today. We knew that we couldn't go back to LA or we wouldn't have stood a chance.
right.
So it was a tense moment, and I think I actually relaxed, to be honest.
Wow.
Once that ball got tossed up and we started playing. Just going out there, just playing, just trying to make sure we stay ahead of the game, stay ahead of the referees, because we knew what they were trying to do.
Right.
Just had to go out there and make sure that we just did what got us there. And that's mainly what Larry Brown will always remind us and reiterate in the huddle. Like, hey, just do what you got to do to get here. You guys played good all season. You played as a team all season. Just do those same things. Don't step outside your game. And once we won up there and that horn sounded and we seen them zeros up there, it was definitely entertaining and loving, but it really didn't set in until maybe like a day or two later that we are
knocked them off. You knocked them off. Yeah. You knocked them off.
Absolutely. We just talk about Larry Brown, with him having been, of course, being mentored by Dean Smith, and of course you as a UNC alum. Just how much did Larry Brown help with making the transition over to the Pistons once you signed with them?
It was kind of sort of easy because actually a few of our plays ended in Carolina plays, ended what we call secondary.
Oh wow!
A lot of our plays ended like that, so that made it, more familiar with me, and just his overall way of coaching. He's a mad scientist. I like to put it. He has his ways. He could be irritable. He could be helpful. He could be thankful. Everything. He's all of these things, and what makes him that great coach was learning step by step from Dean Smith and over the years of being in certain game situations. But he, LB, pound for pound, that's what I used to call him. He's one of the best coaches, I think, to ever coach this game as well. And he's one of the, if not the only coach to win an NCAA championship and an NBA championship.
Exactly.
Yep.
One of three. Oh man, we're coming down the stretch here, and I was trying to think of a good part in question from my perspective, and I'll start with this, and we start with Ninth, then Chucky, then we're in with Rushy. So, hey guys, throughout your career, and Chucky talked about it earlier, obviously you want to leave this world a better place than you found it. I'm assuming that you guys feel the same way, and if you do, just talk about that if you will. We'll start with Ninth first.
Yeah, man, legacy is important. 100%. I don't think I said this in the open of the album. I don't think it's for us. It's not up to us to decide what our legacy is going to be. People were commenting on it either while you're here. That's the thing about when people say give people their roses while they're here.
Yep.
Yep. But a majority of us we'll get our legacy or get our just due, man, when we gone. And that's what it is. I think for us, it's important to do what the best that we can do. We have definitely made strides more than the generation before us. We've taken it to places, man, that like my dad's 78 years old, and he talks about the time when he was raised in the South and how much it's so much different for me than it is for him. And as long as somebody said my beach was hot, man. As long as somebody said that, and I'm very thankful to a lot of these young basketball players that I talk to. Some of the NBA, the Cole Anthonys, the Cassius Stanleys, the Kay Cunningham, the people we see some in and some out, man.
Yeah.
When they see people like me, when they see Rasheed, and Rasheed know what I'm talking about. When they see us, they be like, they'll ignore everybody else. They'll be like, so many people try to come at, but when they see us, they be like, oh, what's up, man? Like, that makes you feel good, man, because they let you know you left an impression on them, and hopefully they on to somebody else.
Oh, that's awesome. Appreciate it. Chucky.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, it ain't about me no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's about me. Giving my time, first and foremost to my family, first and foremost. But when I do have time to, give it to others, I give it to others, man. Because like I said, I want my roses while I'm here. I do want my roses, but I just try to leave the place. Leave here a better place than when I got here.
Yeah.
I want people to remember me. I think about how are they gonna remember me? You know what I'm saying? I do think about that. You know what I'm saying? And I do want people to say, you know what? And when people see my kids, just a little small story. We were at a NC State basketball game one day, and one night, and this guy came up to me. I didn't remember him, but he came up to me, and this is 30 years ago. I'm in college, and he came up to me and was like, "Hey man, Chucky Brown, yeah, I remember you was in my algebra trig class. you were always nice to me, man. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And that was like 30 years ago. I do not remember the dude. None of that. But I was glad that my daughter saw that, because I always tell her, try to make people smile. Try to make somebody smile. Right. You know what I'm saying? And people will always remember you. You know what I'm saying? Whether you make them mad or make them sad, or they will always remember you. Try to have them remember you for something positive. So I was glad that happened. That happened to me. But I just want to leave the place, leave this place, and have people think positively about me. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So I mean, like I said, it ain't about me no more. It ain't about me no more.
She, what you got?
Well, for me, I just want to leave my mark, as Chucky mentioned and Knife mentioned, in that positive way, man. Mm-hmm. A lot of people know me for having an attitude, technical foul, this and that. Okay, that's just one part of who I am. That was working. But outside of that, I definitely would like to be remembered as just helping others, helping the next man, get forward. And to sum it up, quick story as well. I'm downtown Philly. I'm hanging out at a bar, and I got this young kid in his I say early 30s. Came up to me. He's like, "Yo, man." He's like, "Look, you don't know me, but I want to thank you." I said, "Well, for what?" He said, "Because you did your free camp at Gratz, and I went there, and you had your banker come and talk to us about how we can make money even if you're not an athlete." And I listened, and he was like, "Because of you and because of him, I became a CPA." I was like, "All right, that's what's up, man." I was like, "All right, for sure, man." I said, "That story right there, that's heartwarming." And those are the type of things that I want to be remembered by. I know they're gonna remember me with text and basketball, but outside of that, remember me as the person that I was. It's not all about me getting a text. It's not all about me, going out there dunking and hooping. Just let me go and be me.
And I'm glad you said that, because I say that all the time, and I just say it publicly right here. Rushy, you one of the most intelligent guys I've ever met before, and a lot of people get confused about that when they see you on the court. I said, man, trust me, that's him in a game. I know him outside of that, and he's much more than you ever thought he was. So I'm glad you mentioned that, man. Seriously. Everybody loves. The good thing about it, everybody loves all you guys. They love Knife, they love Chucky, they love all you guys, and I think that's a testament to kind of people you guys are. They said they're really nice people and kind. And at the end of the day, that's what you want people to say about you, really. Exactly. Jasmine K. Mac, any part of your comments from you guys?
Yeah, hey, I had one quick thing. Rasheed, I remember we were doing the pro-am at Central. And the first thing I remember, walking into the gym, I forgot which one of the guys, it was either John Wall or one of the other guys, had his Bentley or something outside, and you pulled 2 or 3 of them to the side, and you gave them a little conversation about spending their money as a new in the NBA. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, Rasheed just checked them right here outside of North Carolina. Just like on the spot, and I was just like, "Wow!" I said, "That's what's up." I said, "He checked them real solid." I said, "Okay, my man." I said, "Rasheed." But hey, real quickly, guys, the only question I have, the parting question for you guys is: a lot of young people that'll be listening to this, a lot of young people that'll be tuning in. If you can give me one phrase or one word to sum up where you want young people to put their energy and their focus moving forward, because they see you guys as success. Music business and the NBA, you name it, and they're like, I want to be like Nice Wonder. I can do this. I can rap. I can do this. Give them some just a word of wisdom, just some guidance and some thoughts that they should walk away with this with.
I live by the phrase, chance favors the well prepared. That's just that's bottom line, man. If you're well prepared for a situation, man, when it's your chance to walk through the door, you'll be ready for it.
Yeah,
so,
perfect.
Chance favors the well prepared.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna use that, and I live by the phrase pretty much that don't let anyone outwork you. So, I always tell my kids that don't let anyone outwork you. If you have and be prepared for when you get an opportunity. If the door cracks, you kick it open. You don't walk through. You kick it open.
Right.
But before we go on, I just want to ask Knife if I could get a Ninth Wonder Black Thought album. We could talk about that later, but go ahead, Rasheed.
Hey, that would be a good album there, Chuck. but I would say my biggest thing that I would say to the young kids out there: stay focused.
Right.
You know, there are a lot of hurdles out there that some you might jump over easy and some you might stumble, but don't let that stop your focus. Remain focused on that prize goal down there. That long lane. It's long. It's a fight to get there, but stay focused with it, and you'll definitely love, benefit, and reap all the rewards.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Good stuff.
That's Jazz. You got anything for me, bounce?
This was all great. You guys all shared some very insightful stuff, and we're going to be talking about it tomorrow. So everybody watching Buzz Sports Radio tomorrow, 7 a.m. Wake up with us. But yeah, no, thank you guys for sharing. It's been really good.
Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah, let me close. I'll close by this saying this. It has been a true honor. We finally got things worked out. The Rushy connection over there. But you know what? Better late than never, because we really waiting on, man. We really appreciate it. But man, this has been a true honor. I mean, I know you guys can do a lot of things, but the Sports Shop, myself, Jasmine, of course, K-Mac, and Michael Sheldon and the crew. We really do appreciate you guys coming on with us, man. This has been a great. Anything we can do to further your agenda, things you guys do in community, always calling us, man, because you guys been there for us, and we want to be there for you guys too as well.
Right. And quick shout out, Reese, to everybody that chimed in with the comments that's been viewing. People been chiming in, going back and forth. Apparently, they think I give Rasheed a hard time. I don't know why. I'm thinking Chucky's the one that I never thought won a championship.
Exactly.
You guys are all winners. NBA champions, Grammy Awards, the highest level in their profession. That's what it's all about right there, man.
Can I say one thing before you sign off?
Sure, absolutely. All day.
Hey, make sure y'all check out Let's Get Technical on YouTube with myself and Bonzi Wells' new podcast that I
have. All right.
Tech on Instagram and Twitter.
All right.
Okay.
Say that again. Say that address again.
It's Bonzi She Tech on Instagram and Twitter. And we're on YouTube as well. Let's Get Technical.
All right.
So y'all going in deep, huh? Y'all going in deep, huh? Like that.
Ninth, we gonna see you in about an hour, right?
I'm about to go get ready right now. Head to the stew, man.
So we're gonna check you out on IG. So just and what's the handle? Wonder. What's your handle?
Ninth Wonder. My name.
Pretty easy. Let's follow him and go support him. Thank you guys. Have a great night. We appreciate you guys, man, for the sports talk.
Much love, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect, guys.